evening. Welcome to my very first, I think it's my very first writing vlog. I have been wanting to do this for months, to not just record and vlog writing, but to write. I think I've talked about this before. I've talked about this before, but I just finished my MFA in creative writing. And the last thing that I really worked on was what ended up becoming my thesis. It actually was never meant to be my thesis, but I finished it in time and I started just obsessing over that work. It was very different from anything that I'd ever written before. The number one thing was that it wasn't like fantasy and stuff, which is predominantly what I like to work on and write. But I think I needed that piece to kind of be excavated out of me. And ever since I finished that, I've been struggling with starting anything new. I think something that I didn't realize would happen as a side effect of being in the MFA was that I would feel kind of pushed to write lit fic more, like write realistic fiction more. And I really enjoy writing it. Like the piece that I wrote, the book that I wrote, I really love it. And it's actually, I'm in the middle of the querying process, which has been very long and very, it can be difficult to just wait for so long and just be met with consistent silence, but in some ways the silence is easier than the no's. So I think that's part of why I've stopped writing beyond like journal entries and a couple of like random poems and stuff here and there. But today actually I was at a cafe which was right next to a bookstore, and I decided to just open up my laptop and just write for a little while. I'm actually pulling it up right now to see how far I got. I only got like 300 words into a brand new project, but I felt like that excitement again. I think for me, something I struggle with a lot of things, not just writing, but anything from the gym to making walking part of my routine to even sometimes some days going out, you know, like leaving the house, is just like that initial first step is so hard for me to take. But once I'm out of the house, once I'm in, like I've written the first sentence, like it kind of gets easier the more you do it. And I think that like kind of goes for everything, is the more you do it, the easier it gets. But I kind of have been just not writing, and it makes me sad because for the last like 7 years, it's kind of been my main passion and like my main aim in life, I think. And I was getting worried that like I was falling out of love with it, but the thing is, I know I'm not, because of days like today or moments like today when I was writing in the cafe, where I'm just like completely engulfed in the act of just writing. So anyway, it is 11 p.m. exactly, actually. And I want to do a little bit of a writing sprint. I'm trying to get back into kind of like a schedule of writing. It's also been a really like transitional summer. If you've been watching my videos for a little while, you know that I moved, and the feelings of like moving and stuff has been kind of like, you know, complicated. Before I moved here to Texas, I was in New England for many years and I really enjoyed it. Like a lot of different places that I've lived in the past, I didn't love or enjoy. Like I didn't want to stay. I was always like looking towards the next place to go. But New England was one of the first places that I actually really loved living in. And it's also been that part of it too, I think, that I've just been kind of out of tune with myself. So today was like a good day in that sense. I feel like I'm being dramatic, but this is just how I feel. We're going to do a little bit of a writing sprint, and it is actually the middle of the week. But we're going to do a writing sprint tonight, and I'm just going to check in over the next week and trying to get back into a sort of like schedule, or not even schedule, just a consistency of writing a little bit every day, and we'll see how this goes because I tend to forget things, but we'll see what happens. So let's just do a little bit of a writing sprint, and it is evening. It is 11 p.m., but we'll see how much I get done in like 30 minutes. I'm gonna set a timer and we'll see what happens. So let's write. It's gonna be 30 minutes for me, but it's probably gonna be a couple seconds for you. Writing update. I started at 300 something words and I wrote for about 30 minutes. I had a couple breaks in there because my cat was sleeping and I was trying to check up on her. I gave her flea medication. Like, it's not medication, it's like those drops that you're supposed to put on their back, like between their shoulder blades, but she kept trying to lick it, so I had to put like a little bandana on her because she's not supposed to lick it. And I had just been feeling a little bit worried about her because I was like, oh my god, did you lick any of it? Is she gonna be okay? So I've been kind of monitoring her for the last like several hours. She seems to be okay, so that's also part of why I'm trying to stay up a little bit later than usual, just to like keep an eye out on her. But we did the 30 minutes. I am now at 1258 words, which is good progress. It's more than I've written in a minute. I don't love how I'm not feeling particularly great about the quality of my writing, but I'm just reminding myself that it is a result of not having written for a long time. And I'm also writing in third person POV, which generally isn't my forte. I'm so used to writing in first person POV, probably a little too much. Like, I think I've become too reliant on it, but I'm trying to kind of shift into a new writing style a little bit, especially because I want it to differ from the project that I was working on for like over a year before this. So I'm happy with my progress. I think I'm gonna stop here and just like read for a little bit before I go to bed. I'm planning on going to bed around 12. That's usually what time I sleep around anyways recently. So I'm going to leave you guys here for now because reading is going to be like separate vlogs and stuff. But thank you for sitting and writing with me for a little while, and we will check in. Tomorrow is Thursday and I don't think I have anything on my schedule. Let me actually double check just because it is nice to do that. Usually I have therapy every other Thursday, but not tomorrow. So yeah, don't really have anything planned for tomorrow. I'm actually pretty free for the next week, and then a bunch of like different teaching / clubs and stuff starts, which I'm excited about. Yeah, so I guess I will see you guys the next time I sit to write. Bye for now. Or bye for like 2 seconds until the next clip. Good evening. It is Thursday. I'm gonna sit down and do another writing sprint. This one's gonna be just a couple minutes shorter. I'm gonna do 25 minutes instead of 30, just because I don't want to sleep too late. I have gotten into this weird habit of sleeping around like 1 or 2, even though I try to sleep earlier. I literally just lay in bed and read until like 1 or 2, and then I wake up pretty early in the morning anyway. I wake up at like 7 or 8 in the morning. But then what I end up doing is sleeping in the afternoon. This usually happens in the summers, even when I'm like traveling and stuff overseas. So I'm assuming that that's part of it, but I do want to get into like a better sleep / writing schedule. I still really do love the evening writing sessions, so I think that it's something that's just working for me right now. So I'm gonna try to keep that up, but maybe slightly shorter tonight, just because I want to get into bed earlier, start reading earlier, and hopefully sleep a little bit earlier, because last night I literally slept at 2. I have my document pulled up. I'm still at 1258 words because I haven't worked on it since last night. It's 11:10, so it's about the same time as last night, and we'll do another 25 minutes. I'm kind of want to know what you guys think. I was thinking of doing like longer time periods in case anyone wants to like write along with me, kind of. I'm kind of doing a blend for this specific video because I am just trying out different things. I don't know if I want to have the like little clips between when I'm writing shorter or not, but the last one is probably gonna be a little bit longer, like 1 song worth, and then this one I'm gonna see where I'm at in terms of like outlining, brainstorming and stuff. So typically I don't outline, and the reason I don't is because I've realized that I get very bored of drafting if I know exactly what's gonna happen next. Even though when I outline, I don't ever like know exactly what's gonna happen. Obviously on a chapter to chapter basis, I'm not that detailed in my outlines, but generally what I've found is that the projects I finish are the projects that I don't overthink beyond like actually writing. I basically have to like be obsessed for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, and just consistently writing all the time. With this one, I've had this general idea for years, like actually years. I will say it's kind of inspired by An Ember in the Ashes. Like that's the #1 like comp title I could think of. Like I literally know part of the reason that I even wanted to write something like this is because I read something like Ember in the Ashes. I sat down and I like kind of wrote out just the general arc of the story and some of the characters, but I'm trying to leave a lot of it ambiguous, even though I already feel this thing of like, well, I already know what happened, so why bother writing? I'm gonna push through that for this project. I'm gonna try really hard to push through that. The other thing that I'm still struggling with, which I was struggling with last night, is that I feel like I'm not writing well. Like I feel like the quality is really bad. But I think it's 2 different things. I think one of the reasons I'm feeling this way is because it's not lit fic. And I'm so, after like a year plus of working on my other work, it feels, and I hate saying this and I hate feeling this because like I don't believe it, but coming out of the MFA and coming out of like the project I was working on, it feels elementary in terms of like what's happening and like the added level of like kind of fantasy that I'm working with. Even though I love fantasy and I love writing fantasy, I can't help feeling this way about it and being like, this is so silly, why am I doing this? Even though like I love it, and especially like I think right now in this moment in time it's easier for me to read fantasy than it is to write it, and it's probably a blend of not having written it for quite a while, and also like just feeling kind of like pointless But that's a conversation for another time. I know that it's pointful and I know that it's important, and I literally believe with my whole entire being that reading and writing and books, and even the fictional fantasy ones that seem very like to the logical mind or whatever, to the average person who isn't into like fantasy or whatever, it seems silly, but I genuinely don't think, I genuinely believe with my whole chest that like it's not, and it's super important actually. So anyways, very long tangent. I'm gonna sit down and write 25 minutes. I'm already running out of time because I'm trying to finish before 12. I found this. This is probably not something anyone knows about me, even like on here, unless you know me in real life, but one of my favorite games of all time is Hollow Knight, which my brothers actually introduced to me. And I found this like Pomodoro timer. It's 2 hours long total, but like 25 minute sprints. So I'm gonna just like show you guys that on my laptop screen while I'm writing on the bigger screen. But let's write for a little bit, quick update afterwards, and then I will, yeah, I'll catch you after the little sprint. I just finished writing the 25 minutes. It's 11:50. I'm gonna slowly like go to bed, probably read, but then go to bed and sleep. A little bit of an update, just very brief. I finished the second chapter, which was very, very short, so not really much anyway, but I started the third, and then I just wrote a couple bullet points of like things that could happen. The thing I always struggle with is not knowing like where I want to take the story. So usually I just play it by ear, and then when I go to like rewrite or edit it, that's when I like revisit basically me telling my future self like this is also where it could go, this is where it could go, blah blah blah. I actually should copy over these notes from the actual document, because always delete them when I go to proceed writing, and then sometimes I forget to like include them. There you go. Okay, I also took like a very brief break, but I like paused the little timer because I saw this massive bug. One thing about where I've moved to, there are gonna be bugs around, but it's also like It's also a summer thing, so I can't entirely blame Texas. Happy with the progress I made. Forgot to update my word count, so right now we're at 1955. But a good chunk of that 1955 is also like the notes I left myself. So technically I'm like closer to like 1800. So not too much in the 25 minutes, but I was also kind of struggling to like pick up where I left off. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm happy with what I got done so far. And hopefully I can keep up the momentum in terms of like writing a little bit every night. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but she's like taking a shower. That's what I call it when she's like cleaning herself. So yeah, I'm just gonna save it here. That's the update for now, and I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. If I look like I just woke up, it's because I woke up an hour ago very quickly because I do have to run in. But basically I have done some Googling over the last like month, and I found this little like writing club cafe type thing. I actually genuinely don't really know what it's going to be like, but essentially it's this place where it's open from like 10 to 1 most Fridays, and people just go sit there and write. So been meaning to come. I almost slept through it, kind of. I don't know if like it's okay to like drift in and out, or if you're supposed to be here by like 10 and not leave till 1. I don't really know. I'm assuming that you can come and go as you kind of please. It's like supposed to be like very silent, quiet, and just like conducive to writing alongside other people. So I just passed it. I just parked. I'm gonna go inside and see what it's like. I'm nervous, but I'm also excited, so we'll see. So hot here, it's crazy. I'm burning up. I wore a hoodie and I have been wearing sweatshirts and stuff because most of the time inside places it's cold. So like as long as you survive the walk from your house or apartment or whatever to your car, and then your car to the coffee shop or library or whatever bookstore, you're usually going to be fine. My car was sitting in the sun, so it was really hot. That was so fun. I'm so glad that I did that and I went there. Everybody was so like nice and chill. It basically was just like a room, and people just like came in and out and were working or whatever. I chose a seat pretty close to the door, and next time I want to choose another seat that's like more further in. But it was good vibes, and this lady came up to me and she like introduced herself and she was so nice. And yeah, it was so nice. It was actually like, it was very like welcoming, and at the same time like I didn't feel like I was getting distracted or people were trying to talk to me or anything like that. It was just like people were drifting in and out, and then a couple of them would say hi. It was really nice. I also now know for sure that it's okay to get there a little bit late or leave a little bit early. So I got there around like 10:20 and I left at like 12:30 because I also forgot to eat this morning because I literally woke up at like 9:10 and I was like, oh my god, it's an hour drive. It's not an hour, it's like closer to 50 something minutes, but an hour basically. And I really wanted to get there, but I did make writing progress on several fronts. So I wrote a good chunk, and I also outlined, I unlocked something that I was like struggling with in terms of like how the story was going at the very beginning. So that's really exciting. I don't know what my word count is right now, but I will check and I will get back to you. I don't know if I'll do a writing sprint tonight since I already wrote today, and this video is already getting very long. So as an introduction to writing, or like getting back into my writing routine, I think we're good for now. Hello, it's later in the day on Friday. I'm just here to close out this little vlog. It's very short, I know, it's only been like a few days, but I'm pretty happy with everything that I got done in just these 3 days, and I'm hoping to keep the momentum going. I do plan on like making more writing vlogs. Gotta play around with the style and stuff of it, I think, to figure out like what works. I think the not drinking enough water slash not eating well today, and also my sleep schedule is still not fixed, has been catching up to me. So I do need to like figure that out too, because I can't stay up until like 1 or 2 every single night. I just cannot do that anymore. I'm really happy with like the foundation that I've set for this new project in terms of just getting something down on paper. I'm looking forward to continue writing with you guys. Hopefully this was fun, and maybe I'll be able to incorporate like tangible writing advice or whatever. Not that I'm an expert, because I'm not, but I can just tell you guys what I do and what works for me. It's really weird sometimes, the idea that like you can love doing something so much and still struggle to get yourself to like sit down and do it. That is so funny. Just that random like thank you so much for watching and being here with me and just being here with me, honestly, like as I'm writing and pushing myself to do this. Hopefully I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Bye.